It was the biggest shake-up of social care for 60 years. When the government unveiled plans for a cap on the cost of elderly care, it was hoped it would stop thousands facing huge bills. But there are now claims the plans are misleading, and many will have to spend twice as much as first thought before the cap comes into force. Anne Reid had to sell her mum Peggy's home to pay for care bills of more than £200,000. It put a strain on the whole family.
Working out what to pay for care was very difficult and very stressful because I knew nothing about residential care. I had no idea how the costs would vary. You would find homes that were £500–600 a week and others that were £1,500 a week.
The government has promised to introduce a cap on care costs of £72,000 from April 2016, but that limit doesn't include the cost of accommodation, food or energy bills. Labour says in reality the elderly face paying £150,000 for residential care in England before their costs are capped.
The government isn't being straight with people about what they'll really have to pay for care when they're older. The government should be straight with elderly people and their families so they can properly plan for the future and not attempt to pull the wool over their eyes.
Today in the Commons, the Health Minister defended the plans.
We think that it's reasonable to have the care costs capped, and there is a cost issue here. I mean, we would like to be more generous, but this is going to cost, by the end of the next Parliament, nearly £2 billion. And I think people who would like a more generous system have to have an obligation to tell us where they would get the extra funding to do that.
Anne's mum Peggy has now been in a care home for more than a decade. She says the government should do more to keep the elderly at home.
It's a lot cheaper to keep somebody in their own home, provide carers for them, than it is to put somebody in residential care, and I don't think enough's being done about that.
Each year, up to 40,000 pensioners have to sell their homes to cover the cost of care bills. And with more of us living longer, the challenge of how to pay for care will continue to grow.